Kyle's card wanted me to act out picking flowers, which was so stupid, so girly, but I had to do it. So I put the card down and then bent down until I was pretty close to the floor. I then started to look around as if I were looking through a patch of flowers looking for the right one. Then, every few seconds, I would reach out and pluck an imaginary flower from the floor and place it in my other hand, making it look like I was collecting them. I thought it was pretty obvious, but none of the guesses were even close. I was hoping they'd give up and let me stop. But they told me to try something else, making it clear I had to do this until someone guessed it. So I stopped for a moment and thought about what might help them, and then I remembered the game girls play with flowers. I bent down again and pretended to pick another flower. Then, instead of putting it away, I acted out plucking a petal from it and let the wind take it. I then made myself look sad, at least until I plucked the next one and seemed happy. I swapped back and forth until I got to the last petal, which ended with me doing the happy face. Luckily, Doris knew the game I was playing, as she used to do it a lot when she was a kid, and thanks to revealing that I was playing with flowers, Jiro was able to guess the correct answer. Everyone clapped for her, while Doris was playfully disappointed that she didn't guess that, considering she figured half of it out. They all laughed about it before Benny grabbed one of the blank cards and started to write on it. Once he was done, he waved it at me and told me to come get it. I walked over to him and reached my hand out. To my surprise, he placed one of his hands underneath mine, then the other with the card on top. He looked into my eyes and smiled. He told me this one was going to be really cute. He then looked surprised. His gaze went down towards my hands. He then told me my hands were much softer than he imagined. I felt my face burning from embarrassment and pulled my hand, with the card, away from him. I then asked him what that was supposed to mean. He let out an awkward laugh and then said he thought they'd be tougher since I'm a maid and work a lot with my hands. I had no idea what I should be embarrassed about, the fact that he thinks a girl, which I'm pretending to be right now, should have tough man hands, or the fact that despite actually being a guy, I somehow have soft hands. I honestly had no idea what to think or how to respond. Luckily, someone nearby took care of that for me. Doris had been watching, and she was now silently staring at Benny with an expression on her face that said she might be thinking about a place to hide his body. Benny noticed me looking at her, so he turned his gaze towards her as well, and instantly he knew he messed up and tried to clarify that he didn't mean anything by it. While he did so, I just turned around and went back to my position in front of everyone. By the time I was there, Benny had a noticeable lump on his head, and Doris was smiling, waiting for me to read the card, just like everyone else was. I looked down at the card and read it, and instantly I knew that this wasn't going to be cute, but instead embarrassing. He wanted me to act out going bra shopping. I couldn't possibly do such a thing, and I looked back up and thought about asking for something else, but I knew they wouldn't let me. I couldn't escape either. If I just ran out, everyone would worry and maybe wonder what's really going on here. I can't let them know it's me, so even if it's embarrassing, I have to do it, which might be good. I'm sure none of them would expect me to do it, so I'll only solidify my Fallon persona as different more and more, at least until I can get rid of her forever. I had no idea how to act out bra shopping, as I've never done it, nor do I ever plan to do so I just sort of acted out normal clothes shopping, like I acted like I was moving things on racks, inspecting underwear, and then finally I pretended to pick up a bra. I was about to pretend I was checking the size by comparing it to my chest, but by some miracle, I was saved from having to do so by the doorbell ringing. I immediately stopped what I was doing and looked at Jiro. She nodded and told me to go answer it. I nod back, bring the card back to Benny, and then excuse myself. As I walked off, Benny got up and started acting out the rest, which must have been pretty bad, as everyone started laughing. I let out a sigh of relief. I was thankful it wasn't me doing that, though in just a moment I'm sure I'd be back there doing so. I quickly open the door and bow down as I greet the newest guests to Jiro's party. As I was bent down, I gulped, as I knew this was going to be someone I knew. Thanks to seeing the invites, I knew I was right, but what I didn't get right was that this time there were quite a few people at the door. To start off with, there was Jax, a mutual friend of mine, and Jiro and Holden, a friend of mine and a co-worker at the manga barn where I work. Then there was Jenna from the manga barn. She was my supervisor, but we're around the same age, so we tended to hang out a lot, and I'd listen to her chat about romance manga whenever she pleased. Lastly, there were two older people, two people who might have been the last people I wanted to see. The first was my father Roman, and the second was my mother, Lissa. My face once again felt like it was burning hotter than the sun as I stared at all of them. I wanted to drop to the ground and let my soul rise up to the afterlife, and with how panicked I was, I probably looked like I was in the middle of it, but somehow I managed to pull myself together, turn a tiny bit, and extend my arm towards the living room. I managed to tell them that they were all welcome inside, and that the party was well underway, and that if they needed anything, they could ask me and I'd be happy to help. It was quite a lot, but I think at this point I'm hiding all of my feelings and anxiety behind Fallon, my persona for the night. I watch as most of the new guests enter Jiro's house and make their way in, but after a few seconds I turn and see my mother standing next to me staring at me. I look up at her and internally start to panic. She's my mother, she has to know it's me, right? I mean, I am wearing makeup and all that stuff, and my hair is styled a bit differently at the moment, but I still have the same color hair, I'm still the same height, and so many other things. How could she not know? I once again find myself unable to speak or move. I just sat there, frozen in place. My gaze locked with my mother as I wondered if she knew it was me and was wondering if her son was some sort of cross-dressing fool. She ended up smiling at me and telling me I was very pretty. She then went on about how her daughter used to look that cute, and back then she'd dress her up in such cute outfits, but now that she's older, she picks her own clothes and doesn't pick out cute things. She then started telling me about her son, which was me. She said that I was pretty cute, but since I was a boy, she couldn't put me in stuff like this, but she wished so much that she could. She then mentioned if she had another daughter, one like me, she'd be taking her shopping all the time. I managed to tell her that all sounds very nice and that she sounds like a great mom. That made her smile, and she said that she thought she was, and that no matter what, she loves her children. She then walked towards the living room. I watch her with my head tilted, more unsure than before if she actually knows, but as of right now, she hasn't said anything. So either she doesn't, or I'm going to have some explaining to do. One thing I know for sure. Unlike many of the others here, my mother won't tell people if she does now. For now, I am safe. At least I think I am. I shot a quick glance out the door for any more people, as I know more are still coming, but they weren't here yet, so I closed the door and returned to the main party room where everyone was settling down. I then asked if anyone wanted something to drink. Everyone who just arrived wanted something, and Kyle asked for another soda. I tell them all it'll be right out, and I make my way to the kitchen, thinking about trying to escape again. I just need my keys, then I can ride my bike back home, go inside and change out of this uniform. I looked around, and luckily my jacket was still on a chair. I run over to it and pull my keys out. I smiled as they were all I needed. I slipped them into a pocket of the apron I had on and quietly walked back to the back door in order to sneak out. Before I could even get halfway to the door, I heard someone clear their throat. I slowly turn and see Jenna standing at the doorway. She asks me where I'm going, and I let out an awkward laugh and look at the door. I make something up about hearing a noise and wanting to check on it, which only causes Jenna to laugh and walk up to me. She gets her face up close to mine and looks me over. I gulp and ask her if everything is all right. I watch as she chuckles. She told me that I was never very good at lying, which was how she always knew I was lying when I called in pretending to be sick in order to get out of work. I gasp, and my face starts burning for the millionth time today. In a panicked tone, I asked her what she was talking about and tried to convince her that we've never met. She just laughs at that and calls me by my name. My real name.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Also check out my Patreon and DeviantArt pages. There you can find all my public stories. You can also support my work by getting early access to all stories, exclusive content, and even commission me to make you a custom story. Anyways, thanks again for watching. I hope you have a great day.